All right, so I gotta tell you this story. So today was definitely one of the craziest battles of my life. It was pretty awesome. Um, let's see. Let me find a place to start. Somebody's messaging me, but I don't know. Okay, so last night I get home from rehearsal for our Chinese Christmas musical. Love Changes Everything. That's the name of it. And I was stoked. It was really fun. I was having a good time, and I was hungry. So I went over to. Actually, I went into the kitchen, but my roommate was asleep, and I was like, in fact, earlier in the night, he went to Lucky Boy, and I was like, "Where are you going?" He was like, "Lucky Boy," and I was like, "Nah, I don't want to go there." But then when I saw he was asleep, I couldn't use the kitchen, so I went over to Lucky Boy. Anyway, I walked in. I was still wearing my rabbi stuff, and yeah, rabbi stuff. Sorry, messages again. And oh yeah, it was kind of like dark and bad in there, bad spiritual atmosphere. But everybody was really like drawn to me, and I really felt like I've been in this holy place. These guys like prayed, like with me in the dressing room and played these shofars, five shofars, and yeah, it was just crazy. I was in this really cool spiritual space, and everybody was like, "Wow!" And I enjoyed, I guess, being a light, and just wanting to spread that joy. And sorry once again. Um, and then I thought, but you might not want to eat from this place, right? Like I always think of this Beatles lyric, when you find yourself in the thick of it, help yourself to a bit of what is all around you, silly girl. So it's saying like don't help yourself to a bit of what's all around you in case you missed it. And so I always think of that, in spiritual space. I have since I was like 19. And but I did anyway. They got me a fish burrito, which like I can only just now say the phrase fish burrito. I could not even like get that phrase out, like for most of the day because yeah, I got really nasty food poisoning from this fish burrito. I woke up. Oh yeah, no! I ruined it. I ruined the story. So I'm sitting there eating this fish burrito, right? And I started to pray. And the first thing that I prayed was, God, please let this play go smoothly. I felt like it was an important thing for people. And then God responded, but isn't it more fun if the road is a little bit rocky? And I was like, no, what are you thinking? What are you thinking? And then God kind of told me like, hey, like this is between you and me. This is about us. It's not about, I don't know. That's just the way it is with God, and like that's where it starts. That's where everything starts with God. It's just between us. And anyway, so I was like, okay, yeah, whatever, like whatever, your will be done. And so I wondered, like, what kind of rocky thing, can God come up with that's not going to ruin the whole play? Like, I wonder what that could be, It turns out I was holding it while I was thinking about this and eating it and putting it into my body. And so, yeah, it's 6 in the morning. I woke up from this crazy dream about like a triathlon where you stop and eat at like various stations. And I was like stopped and I was eating like a vegetarian duck. And I remember being like, that's kind of weird, vegetarian duck. And like I started to eat a little bit. I was like, oh, this really isn't sitting with me too well. I'm not feeling this vegetarian duck. And I kind of woke up and I was like, no, it's not sitting well at all. Then I rushed to the bathroom and then I was freaking puking my brains out and crapping my brains out, like, oh my gosh. And, at first I was trying to be pretty, tough about it, kind of having fun, like, yeah, both ends at once, woo, like, just gotta make it through. It's gonna be great. But, oh, ooh, it did not go away. It just hammered me throughout the day. I got so achy. I'm so achy. Even right now, my head is like collapsing in on itself. And like everything hurts, like all my ribs. And my sternum's fine right now, but earlier in the day I noticed that my sternum hurt. I was like, what's on a sternum? There's nothing even there. Like, how can it hurt? Like everything hurts and glands and everything's so crappy. And I was just completely leveled. And I thought, I'm pretty screwed. Like, I don't know if I can make it to this play. And, I've been feeling like I don't really deserve the, honor that they give me, doing this scripture reading and all this kind of stuff. Sometimes people, I don't know, people, how they are. They think of you as kind of like holy and stuff. I'm like, you guys got the wrong idea here, so I just didn't want to let them down, I had been kind of arrogant about the play and kind of like making fun of it sometimes, like, oh, Chinese anti-Santa Christmas musical, and oh my gosh, they're so cool actually. Like when all is said and done, it was really, really like my honor to be a part of their play, and which I didn't deserve. And anyway, but yeah, laying there, I was like, man, like the one thing I didn't want to do, is like let them down, making this bad choice of bringing me in. But I thought I wasn't going to have any choice about it. I just couldn't function. So yeah, complicated day. A lot happened. I was laying on the couch, just totally fried, and I had this bad fever. And I was like finding all these like spiritual truths that was kind of interesting in this fevered state. And then I fell asleep at one point, like into a light sleep. And I was traveling around a map of the Middle East. There were these places, locations that it was taking me to. They were really familiar locations. They aren't really like in the Middle East. Like I think one of them was Berlin, that was like kind of over in Jordan. And anyway, the narrator was like, just like you go to Berlin, right? I was like, yeah, just like that. And they're like, just like you go to such and such place. And I was like, yeah, just like that. And they're like, just like you go to Sea Star or something. I could only make out the first part of the word. Had something to do with like sister, I thought, And I was like, yeah, just like that. And then I thought, wait, what's that? What is that? And so I like looked at it on the map, and it had this emblem. It was like a white emblem with like a gold, like women sort of marking the emblem. And I zoomed in on the map into this desert, and then this oasis went like blue and like came forth like out of the desert. And there was this woman standing there in front of me, and she had on like white priestess robes, I guess, and like long dark hair. And she said, John, go. The Lord your God commands you. And I woke up and I was like, whoa, I better go. But that was hard. That was really, really hard because I was freaking knocked out. And, like I got up, I felt like I was going to pass out. I just heard so much, and like shaking and everything. And it took like every part of the physical training I've been doing, for a long time. But, it's good. It's good. It all kind of contributed to this weightlifting, training for the triathlon. It really was like that, like pushing through, like, yeah, this hurts a lot, like push through, keep pushing through. And I got it all together somehow. I got my costume and stuff. I went, drove myself over to this place, which was, that's crazy. I parked like in the wrong parking garage. I knew it was the wrong one, but I was just like, just got to get there and like do what I'm supposed to do, because it felt really important. It felt really important to do as God commanded me to do. And to have this chance, like finally, to like serve with what I've been doing, that could give something important, with what I'm doing, and I couldn't miss that chance, and so I didn't. I was so reacting, like everybody there just definitely thought that, I was like, oh, John was suffering like normal stage fright kind of thing, like and almost didn't come because he was like so nervous. Like, no, that's not what was going on. I freaking had actual food poisoning, but I couldn't, spend the whole time just telling everybody like, no, I was really poisoned. You just accept like it's just between me and God. Like sometimes like your suffering is like that. You know what I mean? Where like nobody. That was one of the most important things that I realized today. Is to like, and I've realized this a ton of times, but like nobody can really understand you except for God. And I remember repeating at one point, while I was still laying there, like not decked out, like on the couch, like the saints and the angels understand me. It's the saints and the angels understand me. Saints and the angels understand me. Like that's the where my focus belongs. And so yeah, I went and nobody understood, and I didn't care, didn't matter. I was just there to do what my mission was to do, and it was really important to me. And everybody was so nice and so cool. And yeah, we did it. We went out there. It was great. Like we actually read it. It's so great. Yeah, Melody's mic wasn't on, but I think she was heard through my mic because she projected. So tomorrow night we gotta do it again. I'll make sure her mic's on because I go out behind her. And wow, yeah, it was cool. There were some really talented people there doing some really amazing things, And I was just so lucky to be a part of it. So yeah, like ever since the retreat earlier this week, this has been a really crazy week. I've been it's been about like, trying to come back to life kind of, for the last like year or so. I've just been like kind of just like dying alone, and sort of losing sight of the goodness of God, like just in this melees, of like culture that I don't want to be in, and work that just is all consuming. And this break was so important, to this battle, so important to bring life back to my life. So yeah, victory today. And I'm hoping that tomorrow's road's like not as rocky, and God was right. Isn't it a little more fun if the road's a little bit rocky? Oh my gosh, you freaking nutcase. All right. Well, love you, God. Love you guys. Thanks for watching my video. Yeah, just know, like when the trial really comes, like you can push through it if you rely on God and just try to do it for God. You can overcome some pretty insurmountable seeming stuff. So, awesome. Okay, bye.